Yes, immigration to Canada from other countries is at an all-time high, 1.5 million to be precise, over the next 3 years, with the majority of them coming to Ontario. But at the same time, there's a growing trend of Ontarians leaving the province to build a life elsewhere in Canada. But why the sudden shift? Let's unpack the reasons and see where this migration wave is taking people. Hey guys, my name is Morgan Little. I'm a realtor here in Toronto, and I really started to notice this trend, especially during the pandemic, of people on TikTok talking about moving out of Ontario and more specifically out of Toronto. Some seem to be going out east, but the majority of them were headed to Alberta. And this trend has continued as inflation and housing prices have steadily increased in Ontario. Ontario, particularly Toronto, has long been an economic powerhouse. However, a combination of factors such as high cost of living, soaring real estate prices, and stagnant wage growth have triggered a significant movement of residents seeking greener pastures. According to the CBC article, some 50,000 people left Ontario for Alberta or Atlantic Canada in the last 12 months. Analysts blame the soaring costs of living, stagnant wages, and low housing affordability as the reasons for this record number of people seeking greener pastures elsewhere. And while the province's population is by no means shrinking, Ontario has never seen this large of an exodus before. Mike Moffat, an economist and senior director of the Smart Prosperity Institute, an Ottawa think tank, said, "We're seeing record levels of out-migration from Ontario to other provinces, primarily Alberta and Atlantic Canada. Usually in a given year, about 80,000 people across Canada move to Ontario and another 80,000 leave. In the last 12 months, we've attracted the same amount of people, but we've actually lost an extra 50 or 130,000. That's a big gap, but it seems to be a lot more than normal. And this fact hasn't been lost on the Alberta government, which has cheaper homes as a central plank of its Alberta Calling marketing campaign. The ads have appeared on public transit in cities such as Toronto and Ottawa, where it's hoped young adults waiting for their stop might heed the siren's call of lower real estate prices and go out west, where they'll settle down and start a family. Obviously, the biggest factor here at play is the cost of living in general, but specifically the cost of housing, which in Toronto, the average home is well over $1 million. And in Alberta, it's around $450,000. So that's a big difference. It's not just a random choice that people are making. There's a method to this migration madness. Now, this article from the Calgary Herald states Alberta set a new record for net interprovincial migration growth last year, contributing to an overall population gain of more than 4%, according to the data released by StatsCan. The population boost of more than 184,000 people in the last year means Alberta is now home to an estimated 4.7 million people. Now, in addition to lower housing costs, Alberta also doesn't have a land transfer tax, which in the city of Toronto, because there are 2 provincial and municipal taxes, can cost you up to 30 grand on $1 million purchase. Speaking of taxes, Alberta also doesn't have any provincial sales tax like we do here in Ontario. HST here is 13%, where they only pay the 5% GST on goods. And then you have employment, which in Ontario, we've been seeing a lot of layoffs with some of the bigger companies. Obviously, Alberta has the oil industry, which may not be for everyone, but the average household income for both Ontario and Alberta is about $80,000. So it makes sense that some of these people will want to live in a province that simply costs less, assuming they can make the same or a similar amount there. And if you're someone who sold your home in Ontario that you'd owned for more than a couple of years, you likely saw a big profit from that sale, and that would allow you to buy much more home in a province like Alberta. Now, like I mentioned, I'm a realtor who lives and works in Toronto, so I'm not trying to make this an advertisement to move to Alberta by any means. Although if you are planning on it, I know some great realtors there. We'd be happy to recommend you. Just reach out to me. But like I've talked about here, the issues contributing to this exodus range from the high cost of living and real estate in Ontario, but also include things like traffic congestion and air pollution and safety concerns of living in a big city. Employment prospects are also a major factor, like I said, with the growing availability of talent in Ontario potentially leading to stagnant wages. But I can't not mention politics as another motivating factor for people leaving Ontario. There's been a big shift in people's general attitude over the last few years, stemming from the pandemic and some of the government policies around vaccines and masking. And even though Ontario is traditionally a more liberal province, well, Alberta is a bit more conservative. And I think a lot of people are searching for a place with more traditional Canadian values, and they're finding that in Alberta. I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of this. Have you moved from Ontario to Alberta or even to another province? Or are you someone who is seriously considering it? Let me know your reasons in the comments. And as always, if there's anything I can do to help, feel free to book a call using my Calendly link in the description below, and I look forward to connecting. Till then, stay well and stay hungry.